And I have a very special co-host today, a new member of my band. Which it's funny because like my band is now turning into Rue and Who. Someone asked me if they should book it like that from now on because the members are changing and adding and going and thising and thatting, and this is our new member, and RAD has just turned into J-Rad because this is the J. And now we're J-Rad, and I love that name because R-A-D kind of, like, Rad kind of bugged me. It's just too groovy. And I love J-Rad because it's like J-Lo, A-Rad. And if we're anything as good as those guys, we're hot. So this is the J. So what are you doing, J-Rad?
Right now, I'm co-hosting a talk show with you.
Yes, you are. And, today is a very, very spectacular day. And, it is November the 18th, and, we'll get to all the other exciting birthdays, whatnot, but today is Mickey Mouse's birthday.
I didn't know he had a
Mouse's birthday. It's the day of the debut of Steamboat Willie. Mickey Mouse was born on November 18th, so the closest thing I could find was this. It's a brand new item, and it's Disney princesses. And without Mickey Mouse, none of these girls would exist. So, how would you like to have a Disney princess in honor of Mickey Mouse?
I would love one.
I know.
However, I think he was in a silent short before that called Plain Crazy. Well,
it probably was right in front of Steamboat Willie because today is truthfully 1928, Mickey Mouse, and Minnie Mouse came too the same day, so it's both of their birthdays. She's really the first Disney princess. So we're going to celebrate with Disney princesses today because I love Disney princesses. I can't deny the fact that I do.
Which one do you like the most?
Oh, I like them all, but every time I seem to take the quiz, like which princess, I always get Ariel. I even try on purpose to not answer questions that I think would be Ariel's answer, and I still get Ariel. So for some reason, I am Ariel in a lot of ways, I guess. I don't know.
Why do you think that is? What makes you more like her?
I don't know, but maybe she's the one that goes, ah, she sings.
Do you comb your hair with a fork?
I don't really comb my hair. I would use a fork if I probably I would.
That's the only thing I remember about that. When she combed her hair. She didn't know what to do with the fork.
And she called it something like a I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
called.
she had some weird name for it.
Clopperdopper or something. It's also Imogene Coco's birthday. Linda Evans, Dynasty. I don't know if Dynasty. Did you ever hear of Dynasty? Is that before your time? Alexis Carrington.
I was aware of it, but it wasn't exactly the show I watched back then.
I know, but it's Minnie and Mickey. They share a birthday, 1928. It has to be, and this was a big day. Howard Stern. I don't know if anyone remembers when he went to K-Rock. He went to K-Rock for his afternoon show, and that's when he exploded to the major population of the world. It happened on November 18th. Yep, before he went to Sirius, he was on K-Rock for a long time.
What year was that?
I don't really do the years. I think it was like 1985, though, something like that. But it's Chloe Sevigny. I can never say her. I see her at my gym a lot. She goes to my gym. And she's always, like, cute and looks just like herself.
Who is that?
Chloe Sevigny.
I'm not up on my celebrities.
Sevigny. She's got a brother that's a DJ, too. They're always at the right parties. She's an actress. She does a lot of cool stuff. She's, like, one of those cool... Did you ever see Boys Don't Cry? With the one that won the award, Hilary Swank?
I think I might have seen a couple parts of it.
She was the blonde. She was the girlfriend. The girl. Okay. It's her birthday today. It's Duncan Sheik's birthday today. Boy, has he exploded, man, with that show on Broadway. He used to be good friends with this woman I used to work for. He used to get his hair done by Valerie. I worked in a salon called Valerie's, and she was friends with Duncan Sheik. It's Owen Wilson's birthday today. And Graham Parker. Have you ever heard of Graham Parker? Probably not. Well, he's an oldie but a goodie. I know people that loved him. I couldn't name a song of his, truthfully, but I know people that used to love Graham Parker. James Coburn You know who he was? This really cool actor. He was always so cool. He died on November 18th. So, mwah, I like you, James Coburn. He was like an older, white hair, sexy guy. Always in those movies, you know? Like, he always played the coolest characters. Cab Calloway. Ever hear of him?
I've heard of all these people, but I have no idea what they did.
He died on November 18th, too. And the Apollo Theater opened on November 18th. I think that is totally awesome.
That would be pretty close to where we're at right now, wouldn't it?
Not too far. And I once was in a video. At the back of my head, I sat in a seat in the Apollo Theater for Whitney Houston. That
Really?
song, The Greatest Love of All. There were thousands of people there, and I actually got picked to be one of the people sitting in the audience, and all they showed was the back of our heads. So I do know that the back of my head is, it took all day. We sat there watching her walk across that stage like 5,000 times. It was a fun day. I was happy that I was one of the people sitting in those seats in the back of my head, isn't there? All right. Anyway, that happened today. Charles Darwin traveled to Tahiti on this day. What a lucky man. His budget allowed it, too, probably, because he was studying man, right? Isn't that what Darwin did? Evolution?
Yeah, evolution.
Yeah. So, and Lewis and Clark reached the Pacific Ocean on November the 18th. They were the first Americans to cross the continent. First Americans? That's a crock of poopy. How could they be the first Americans to cross the continent? Didn't people live out there? Was it like totally
Yeah,
empty?
there were people that lived all over, but I doubt that any of them walked across. I mean, I guess
they're the first documented,
maybe
right?
An Indian over here
That's what
walked
I mean.
all the way over there.
Yeah.
You don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Exactly.
It'd be a long trip back then.
But I guess they were the ones called Americans, first Americans to cross the continent. Mark Twain published Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. Anyone ever hear of that? I never.
Again, I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
You heard of it?
I've heard of that before.
I never heard of that. Wow.
Actually, I believe I did read it. I think it's a short story. I don't think it's a full
wow.
thick novel. I think it's just a couple pages.
I love Mark Twain. He's definitely one of my heroes. Another thing that is pretty the musical or the play, I don't even know which it was, but it was called The Three Musketeers. It opened on Broadway and it closed on November 18th after 9 performances.
Wah, wah.
I know, isn't that horrible? But the musical Smiles with Bob Hope and Fred Astaire opened on November 18th in New York City. Could you imagine those two on a Broadway stage in a musical? Bob Hope and Fred Astaire. That is just too cool for me.
That was probably back whenever you were allowed to chain smoke the whole time you sat and watched the play.
Yeah, we could smoke anywhere.
They probably smoked on the stage.
Yeah, they probably did. And the last thing I'm going to share, and then we're going to bring on a guest because we have a very, very full action-packed show today, is that France deported Marlon Brando's daughter, Cheyenne Brando. They deported her to Tahiti. I wonder if she met up with Charles Darwin. Yeah, I know. Could you imagine getting deported and they send you to Tahiti? I mean, that doesn't sound so terrible to me.
Yeah, what do you have to do to get deported to Tahiti?
I don't know. We better call this girl
I'd like
Cheyenne.
to find out.
Does anyone know